Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. In this video, we're going to look at the recent move up in the price in the 4-hour time frame. I'm talking about Bitcoin crossing 96k, and we're going to see if it's a healthy one, if it's going to hold there and potentially continue breaking the next levels of resistance. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put out one of these videos. Thanks so much for the likes on the videos yesterday and today. Overall, we are doing incredibly well, and I would really appreciate if in this like, you don't forget to hit the like. Unfortunately, guys, the guy that won this morning the 1 year of premium TradingView ran out of time to claim the free subscription on TradingView. Remember, this morning I said that you have time until the next video. This was the winner that picked Gyros. I assume that he didn't watch the video or he didn't learn about the price. So I'm gonna have to pick another winner. So luckily I still have the table in here with all the people participating. And the new winner is number 46. Let's see who is 46 in here. And the new winner is Tech and Travel, Twitter handle World Travel Bag, and they pick Sushi. Since I'm running out of time to make sure that someone claims the prize, I'm just gonna directly send a message. I know that it's not fair for the first person in the morning because I didn't tell them directly. I wanted the person to watch the video, but if I go with the same approach, I won't be able to have a TradingView account to hand to the guys of TradingView so they can apply the price, and they gave me until tomorrow morning only, otherwise we just gonna lose the price and no one is gonna take it. So here's the message for the winner, and let's hope that this is a real account, otherwise it's just gonna go to waste. There you go, that's the winner. Alright guys, as I'm recording this video, things are progressing really quickly, and we might as well make the full journey to both the resistance from the white line, which is the one that could give us a global breakout on the 4-hour, which is massive. And at the same time in here, we have these dotted lines, which represent the median of the percentile nearest rank. And why is that powerful? Well, because if we break above both at the same time, we can do a full journey for another half of the range to the top. That means we have just done this move in here with one half, and then we get the other half of the range. Crossing fingers for that, because that is at the moment pointing to 87 RSI. At the moment, the resistance is at 63, so we need to break above 63 to get to 87. And now the support, if we came back down in here for another support, is 47. So 47, 62, 47, 62, and 87. So these are now my numbers. The orange is our support that we need to hold. The yellow is 62, which is where we need to break out to even think about 87. And I remind you, I told you, if we break above this, we can start thinking about 67. Now we are, 97. Now we are at 97, consuming this fair value gap. If we break this other yellow line, which is more or less in the confluence with the resistance of 98.4, but actually is at 98 to be more precise. And if we can claim that, then the 87 is at a whopping 121. It's a moving target again, but at the moment is pretty impressive to just think about that. The breakout happened with some volume. It's above the average, which is pretty good, but still declining relative to what we saw in the selling area in here. Things that are still worrying me is that we had all this bid liquidity that definitely saved the day in this area in here. Remember, we were having a confluence with our point of control, which definitely was very important to flag that that was the point of control, right? We have the support from here, 56 RSI, which we almost touch in confluence with the point of control. And I say if we can hold above that level, we are still in the bullish middle half in here, as opposed to being in here, which is turning things bearish on the daily. We cannot yet count victory. We still need to have the global breakout on the 4-hour. Remember that this resistance at 63 could still produce something like this and continuation to the downside. That is not discarded. Anything is possible. So if you were in a long and you either enter in my very risky entry when we were talking about a bottom formation, or if you enter in this breakout, particularly the ones that enter with this confirmation. Be careful with a rejection from here, because very quickly it can take you back to a break even. Whereas the people that are here can potentially stay a little bit more calm now, because they have already broken out from here, so they are 2 layers away from getting hit. If you enter in here, you probably enter somewhere between 90 and 92, whereas if you enter in here, you already entered at 94, so you have 3K above. And if you are very conservative and still waiting for this, you might end up entering facing the 100K, which is quite risky once again, because that's where we have the selling wall. But if we succeed with that, then you can get the full reward of potentially, hypothetically, getting into the 87 and then getting a move of 20K towards the 120. All food for thought, of course. You can see on my Telegram channel, we started updating you about the bottom information. Here is the message that we talk about screams opportunity, and this morning we talk about the bulls stepping in but no breakout yet. And I kept updating you today about hitting the resistance, and once we claim it, and I share all the images, including the ask liquidity, the levels of liquidations, and all my thoughts in more than a post. This is almost like an article explaining everything I was thinking as we were breaking out. All the links are in the description: Telegram, Instagram, and Twitter. Whichever you prefer, you get the same information, but obviously all the discussion is going on Telegram. I tell you everything in the videos, and in this Telegram, I won't ever answer a question. So should I enter along? Or should I do this? Should I do that? I will never reply to those questions, because it's all about you making the decision and you improving your skills on risk management. I cannot tell you to enter here. If you're not an advanced trader, you might as well lose the 90K and then it goes to 80K, and then you're gonna blame me. Or if you're entering this breakout and you're 3K in profit right now and you look the other way, you go to sleep and suddenly we see a rejection in here and then your 3K is gone. There are many people that are not able to take their responsibility for their acts. They just want someone to blame, and I don't want to be there for those. I just want to make sure that you guys are learning what's needed. One thing to note in here with the MACD bearish cross that now is fully confirmed is that it's having a very different behavior compared to the one that we have in March. On this one, as we approach the bearish cross and after that we continue to plummet in here, we only have a green candle here when we were already in a drawdown of over 10%. In here we started having a green candle at 8%, and so far things a lot better. And in here, of course, this is a daily candle. There are hours still to confirm how high this is gonna close. This could as well sell off, break below 90 and continue on the way down and just create a massive liquidity hunt. That is because we're about to face a resistance, so we need to see how we react once we do that. I am quite satisfied that we have made a move on the fear and greed index to 75, almost exiting the grid, almost going into neutral. In the past cycle, in November, December, we stay in the 94s constantly. I like seeing cool downs in the grid, getting some people to think maybe, maybe not, leaving the space and then realizes, oh my God, I took a loss. I realized the loss, and that is what fuels the market to continue going higher. Think about this. Thanks to going to 90K, now the RSI 78 on the 4 hour is pointing to 120, which is a lot more than before. And that's just the mathematics of that, but it's all about psychology. As you can see, one day ago, my video title was Shorts Were in Trouble. The delta is going nuts. And here we are with the delta forming a bottom information here, giving us a good hint that potentially soon we could be breaking out above this trend line. And that is a late confirmation, but it gives a lot of additional reassurance that the delta could be once again punishing the shorts. And you might be thinking, but we have already punished a lot of shorts, right? Because we went up to 97K. And looking at these shorts, I could say, yes, partially, because we went to 97, right? But if you look at what did we punish, you can see that this whole move in here left a lot at stake from the longs in here. I really don't understand why the price didn't come and take this. And instead, it decided to go for this very thin, unattractive liquidity. Notice that Trading Different has introduced now this profile that shows the total number of liquidations. So I don't have to be hovering and looking at the numbers, and I can do a comparison by eye, not just with the colors, but also a quantitative comparison. Very useful. And you can see that price went into nothing, apparently, okay? Taking all the liquidity up until 97K. This was very thin. Of course, now it shows reduced because it has taken it already, but I promise you that before the pump, this was just like this. It wasn't really worth going up. Unless we are going for this, option number 1, or option number 2 is we are not going for 100K, we are just trapping new longs to hit them once again. And that's why I'm open-minded, not necessarily thinking that I'm gonna take for granted my 100K long swing, but I am going to do what I always do. I am gonna pay attention once we get too close to our resistance at an RSI 60 to 61 on the 4 hour. I think that is the right thing to do. Or you can also monitor the order block in here, which is at the highs of 97K. It could happen before, but as we are getting closer to that, the chances of seeing some sort of rejection there or resistance, not necessarily rejection, but resistance, an effect the price could do in here. And again, what we want to see is breaking out, confirming in continuation, not a rejection big there, because that could confirm the hypothesis that we are not going for 100, we are actually going for these longs that enter in here. I think that's very important to be able to distinguish it. Now, looking at the longer term, this liquidity in here definitely looks bigger than if we have to go back down to 92 and to the low 90s. You can now compare it with these peaks in here, so it's larger and now it's closer to the price. But at these levels at 99.9, we still have a selling wall. So what are we gonna do when we get that? Are we gonna just easily grab it? I don't know. And since the ask liquidity is also increasing, that's another reason to remain cautious on the assumption that we are just going to hit from here 100K and that's it. It's not an easy grab, and people are at the moment betting on the opposite. Yes, the delta is at the bottom, but I will say if we don't see a breakout on this trend line of the delta, that means that we might stay a little bit longer in here with the shorts in control, or not in control, but with excessive shorts in the market. If we can cross those levels, the next liquidations to the upside is 98.8, and we have a big liquidation here at 99.8. Below the price for the retest, we have 94.3. If we experience a retest, we can also observe it right now. We are printing a candle of a rejection already. We made it to 97.2. Nothing confirmed. There's still 3 more hours to fully define this candle, but you can see that it pinched into half of the fair value gap in red there, and it could come back down to close the gap at 96 and hopefully find support at 95.9. If not, there is a fair value gap at 94.5 in confluence with our support from the RSI, the one that we just broke outside, which I say is at 46 or 47, which is almost the same. So let's hope that all this ask liquidity, limit orders to sell above the price don't get executed. I can see that now we have one last fair value gap to go to the top, to 97.8. Very interesting because we talk about that level as well. And below the price, we have fair value gaps to come back for the retest up until 93.7. And then a huge vacuum up until 85. You can see how yesterday we talked about the CPR level that we were testing at 90.8, and definitely was helpful to have that CPR level to have this bounce. And I want to give you a very, very quick update before I let you go on the dollar. Our level of resistance, 107.5 roughly, so far is printing an engulfing candle weekly. Let's hope that this week we close it like this. It will be a dream to break below the previous range and that the RSI comes back below this level of support now at 57 weekly RSI, potentially confirming what we were speculating. Remember, we have done tons of wrong speculations in here. With the index of the dollar, it has been really tough for me. But after having done some additional research in the past month, we figure that the dollar topped 35 days after the gold top in the past cycle. And that puts the potential top for dollar on the 2nd of December. And since we are just a few days away from that, that could be a confirmation of that. Too early to say, too difficult to forecast. The indexes are a lot more difficult than Bitcoin. And if we look at this formation in here after the hive, we were expecting to have the top in the middle of October that got delayed up until the end of October. And then we have these two red candles in a massive green engulfing. And now we are seeing a lower high and it's all really confusing. But luckily we have the RSI saying in here that there has been a cool down in the momentum. So RSI says there is a breakdown that happens early November and we are putting lower lows and lower highs. Price is still kind of neglecting that. So let's hope that both price and momentum start agreeing and fulfilling the prophecy of going to 2.2K, which is together with the doll coming down, all good inflows of cash into the system that should go to Bitcoin, to altcoins, to altcoin season, and all that those goodies as well. At least the altcoin season is now at 65, so people that are still thinking, when is altcoin season gonna happen? They're probably gonna start noticing when we are above 75, and at that point you might as well miss it because this has gone really high already. We continue to see many days of green and we still don't see funding rates as red as in March or as red as the biggest altcoin season in 2021. This is all we have done so far, so I don't think you have missed that much. As long as we get that altcoin season, this could be just what you're seeing in here, just speculation, not a forecast. That is all based on the Bitcoin dominance having broken down with a very humble move in there, and this week continuing with the breakdown with a dominance of 58.4 today, and the USDT dominance below the trend line, hitting the trend line as a resistance, and the total 3 having closed above 70. What else can you ask for really for good performance of all coins? All of that together means that we have already had quite a lot of bullishness and there should be plenty more to enjoy. Guys, if you are looking to trade with a top-notch exchange, look no further than Bybit. There's a link in the description that unlocks up to 30,000 in rewards and the lowest fees to trade. Not to mention that you can also connect your Bybit account that has been opened using my referral link to my website. And then if you have enough volume traded, you can get any of the subscriptions for free. I also have a link to this exchange called Bluffing. You can trade pretty much anywhere in the world without needing VPN, KYC. I just learned that in some locations people are still requiring to use VPN. I believe they might be changing the rules depending on what countries are requesting it. Let me know down in the comments if you're one of those. I just learned that in Canada people require VPN. So fair enough. Up until December 14, I still run this campaign offering bonuses for the deposits and for the traded volume. And using the link in the description also unlocks the lowest fees to trade too. This gives you access to leverage, trading on altcoins, and all that stuff. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow in the morning with an update as well.